Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend DG Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Perich, host of a Totally Turtle sports and gaming YouTube channel, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast network.
In brightest day,
in blackest night,
no evil shall escape my sight,
but those who worship evil's might.
Beware my power.
Green Lantern's light. Hello and welcome back to Sector 2814, the Green Lantern podcast. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, Master of the Core. It is.
I am Will. Hey, everyone.
And today we're back with more Spectre. J.M. DeMatteis' Spectre. Says we'll be covering Spectres 18 through 23. Because we, of course, love the Spectre.
Good series.
Yeah. We even get a fill-in writer this time for one issue, too. Ostrander is back for one issue.
Oh, cool. Yes, that's right.
Get a little compare and contrast here. But no, we were talking, no big news on the Green Lantern front yet. I don't think we've gotten a solicit for any of either of the new Green Lantern books coming soon yet.
Yeah, I mean, we know that... is it Mariko Tamaki? Is that?
I believe so. Yeah.
We know that she's going to be the writer for the Hal Jordan book, but we don't know who the artist is. And we know that Philip Kennedy Johnson is going to be writing the John Stewart limited series, apparently, is what it is. That will come out later. I think I saw that it was a limited series.
Man, we can't have 2 monthly series. One of them has to be a mini series.
We haven't had an ongoing series in
a year. It'll be probably a year by the time we get the next series.
Yeah. Which is just nuts. I mean,
I was gonna say it hasn't been like this since like the late '80s. But even when there wasn't a regular Green Lantern title, I mean, Action Comics Weekly, as much as at least it was Green Lantern content, you know.
That's true. It was Green Lantern content. Whether it was good is obviously, up for debate.
Yeah. Oh, hey, have you been reading Mark Waid's Batman Superman World's Finest comic?
I've got a couple issues that I still need to get caught up on, I think.
Okay. Did you start anything with the Boy Thunder?
No, not yet.
Okay. Because there's a big spoiler. I mean, I think people have been talking about it, but yeah, Mark Waid is like, he becomes a well-known character. Or something from a Mark Waid project. It's like,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Is Dan Moore still doing the art? Because that's beautiful art. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I think there might have been a fill-in or two for like an issue or two, but yeah, it's mostly been Dan Moore.
Nice.
Lots of Dick Grayson too in there, and
who? Phil? I didn't know you knew who that character was.
Hey man, don't knock it, man. Nightwing 100 came out this week.
Yeah, and he was kind of the star of a certain gigantic crisis that we just had.
2023 is going to be another year of Dick Grayson because at the end, yes, basically Superman, Wonder Woman, and then Batman asked him to basically, yeah, we're not going to reform the Justice League right away yet. So yeah, can you lead everybody? Okay.
Okay, sure. Gotcha.
So yes, probably basically gonna be him and the Titans.
The Titans.
Because they built a new tower in Bloodhaven, so.
How there's been so many versions of the Titans, by this point. How how close are they to the Wolfman Perez Titans?
It seems pretty close. It seems like we're going back to that maybe because it was like it's him, Starfire. Well, at least this was at the end of the Nightwing issue. It was him,
Yeah.
Starfire, Donna Troy, Wally West, Beast Boy, Raven, and Cyborg. So
Cool. Very cool.
I think we're getting back to that.
So he and Starfire almost got married, but then didn't happen. But then he and Barbara Gordon were a thing, but then it didn't happen. But it might be a thing. What's that look like now?
Him and Barbara Gordon seem to be together again, and they're not. I don't think they're technically living together, but they're having lots of sleepovers. So,
Oh, okay.
and they kind of treat the dog like their child. So it's getting there.
Okay. Cool.
Tom Taylor doing good stuff there. I'm trying to think. Like I told you, Guardians of the Galaxy, new stuff's coming. No Quasars. So
Yeah, that's disappointing, but
mm-hmm.
not necessarily that surprising. So, oh, I don't know if you can see it. I've got. Let's see. Oh, it's there we go. I think I've got Vegito up there.
Oh, it might be above the camera.
Yeah, it's above the camera. Darn it. Oh well. Okay. That was a birthday present. So.
Oh, nice. Very good. Even though I can't see it.
Well, I could almost reach it, but I'd have to get up. So
Yeah, don't worry about that.
So anything else going on? Have we heard anything about? Wasn't James Gunn supposed to have like the movie plans come out sometime this month? In the new year?
Maybe. I haven't. There's been no announcement that I know of any Green Lantern news. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there was that thing for that 1 week. What was that, like before Christmas, where they was just like, oh, the Green Lantern show's canceled. No, it's not. James Gunn says no idea. No, wait, there's plans for Green Lantern. So it's like, is it a show? Is it a movie? So
Yeah, what's going on? Does anybody actually know what's going on? I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I think he's hinting now that some of the Guardians of the Galaxy cast members may follow him to DC because I think a lot of them are done with the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Ah, okay. I can't see any of them being Hal at this point.
No. Yeah, no, I'm searching Green Lantern now. Yeah, there's really nothing coming up. Yeah. Yep, I saw someone else disappointed that there was no announcement on the Hal Jordan book. So. Yeah, nothing. Ugh. Nope. Yes, it's bone dry. All right.
Oh, I was it was interesting. I was thinking about, the Kyle era of the book, pre-rebirth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And kind of what that looked like. And it's weird, it kind of parallels a little bit, the Legion of Superheroes, because we had the reboot Legion that have a definite, beginning and a definite end, with Infinite Crisis. Is it Infinite Crisis? Yeah. And then they come back during Final Crisis with the Legion of Three Earths. But I don't know, I just thought that was kind of interesting, these big changes that were made, 25 years ago lasted for about 10 years, right? And then And then there was change. I don't know. I don't know if it means anything or it's just like, I was just thinking about it the other day because, the Legion was around for decades, literally, 40 years? Over 40 years. And then that Legion ended. We read it. It was, the last 6-issue arc with Legion of Superheroes, Legionnaires, and Valor. And then they completely rebooted it and restarted it. And then, they ended it, and then they rebooted it again. The 3-boot Legion had an even shorter run, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was interesting, and
Oh, yeah.
I got nothing else, man.
All right. Well, I mean, we can jump into this because we do have 6 issues. I don't have any synopses for these, so we can like kind of take an issue out by issue or however you want to do it. Although those last 3 are kind of one big story.
Yeah. Let's I don't know. However you want to do it, man.
All right. Well, let's start with Spectre number 18. Here, I'll do the credits here. Volume 4, number 18 from August 2002. Rebirth. That name sounds familiar. Rebirth. Writer JMT Mateus, penciler Norm Brayfogle, inker Dennis Jank, colors Guy Major, letterer Jack Morelli, and editors Dan Raspler and Morgan Dontanville. All right, so and can I just say how disappointed I am that these still aren't? I believe these still aren't on DC Universe Infinite.
Or collected in a trade paperback or multiple trade paperbacks or an omnibus or, hardcovers of some kind. Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't want to spend all that money, but I was in the comic shop the other day and I saw they have like the Jack Knight Starman is like in like it's 2 omnibuses of the whole collection. I was like,
nice. I remember buying that when it was coming out.
I forget, was it like 75 or more a piece? I was like,
Yeah, it's not only are they not cheap, but you can kill somebody with them, because they are big honking slabs of comics.
I mean, if you want the entire run, it's probably a good price, but I'm just like, birthday list? I have a birthday in a few months. All right. Oh yes, issue 18. I remember. Where is Abin Sur?
Yes.
And we get more of Materna Minx. Who's basically educating Helen.
Yes.
Fun. But yes, long story short, this one, Abin Sur's old friends want his spirit to reincarnate and be reborn as their child. And
which is interesting. And
he's like, well, do I want to be reincarnated? He's just like, it's like, I'm gonna lose everything I am. That's Abin Sur.
And then all of his previous and future incarnations come to him and say, it's okay, dude. It's all right.
Yeah, you've done this many times before. You're gonna do it many times after.
And were you as I guess delighted as I was to see, the Spectre rebirth?
I know, that was fun.
I did chuckle at that a little bit.
Oh yes, we also get the start of real quickly. Stigmanis resurrecting somebody.
I wonder who. Who could that be, Phil? I mean, he has reddish skin.
Oh, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've been enjoying these stories by Mr. DeMatteis. But yeah, just like Abin Sur and Hal having like just like discussion about reincarnation and
Mm-hmm.
because Abin's just like, yeah, many traditions on many worlds speak of the soul's continuity, the joy of reincarnation as we move from life to life, but I don't see the joy in it. But yeah, what do you think of that one? Hal's like, I would leap at the chance if it was offered them, to
Yeah,
live
and
again.
then a certain Miss Minx shows up and said, "Oh, really?
Mm.
Stop spying on your girlfriend."
Oh, we'll get there too. Yeah. But I don't think we ever saw yet who Minx says. She said she had a date with someone. I don't think we ever saw that, did we?
I don't think so. But yeah, I mean, this was. I feel like these issues, while good, aren't as strong as those early issues that were less tied to continuity, I guess. You know?
Oh yeah, especially when we see who gets resurrected. Yeah.
Hmm.
Does it seem like, I don't know? I don't know if there's pressure on behind the scenes, but do you think either Jamie either DeMatteis' idea or if he's getting pressure from editorial? But is there a thought here of yeah, you need to tie this more to the continuity, especially how Jordan continuity?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he did bring back. Well, sorry, that's a spoiler. He brought back one of his villains for the
Yes.
series, but I mean, they the stories don't seem to have as many layers when he's dealing with the continuity of Green Lantern and Hal Jordan as the stories where he's freed, from pretty much all continuity, or sometimes barely shows up. It's I don't know, but I mean, it's certainly not bad. It's still good. I mean, I very much enjoyed these issues.
Oh yeah. And we'll get another issue like that in 2 issues from now.
Hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I enjoyed it, but well, we said goodbye to Abin, and but yeah, it's that whole resurrection that's looming over our heads.
Exactly.
Uh, but yeah, number 19. That hold on, let me pull that up. It's gonna be issues, but I think yeah, that's the Austriander one, right?
The Darkseid one.
Yeah, number 19, I think.
Okay. You want to go ahead and jump to it? I mean, Abin says yes, and
Oh yeah. And basically, yes, it was reincarnated.
hmm
That was quick. But yeah, Spectre number 19, September 2002, The Equations of Light and Darkness by writer John Ostrander, penciler Norm Brayfogle, inker Dennis Jank, Guy Major, colorist, letterer Bill Oakley, and Dan Raspler and Steve Wacker, editors. Yeah, so yeah, kids, if you didn't get the idea, but yeah, it's Darkseid and the New Gods.
hmm And again, I really don't feel I really don't feel like the New Gods work as part of the DC universe. I feel like they should stand on their own. I mean, of course they've been a part of the DC universe from the beginning. I just I really don't like how they've been used with Green Lantern, and I don't know that let's just put it this way. I don't feel like the New Gods are for me. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, I get maybe it's a Kirby thing, but I mean, New Gods and Eternals over at Marvel, I'm just always like, it always seems out of place when they try to make them interact with the rest of DC
Mhm.
or Marvel. It's to me, and again,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was going to say, and this whole story, I mean, I know it's a guest writer, but it's just like, except for that quick like vision, like Kyle kind of has when he goes into the source, and it's like, am I on Oz? Are you the old timer? Besides that, I mean, it's almost like this could be any Spectre, not even Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
But again,
I
guest writer, I don't know if you don't want to write it, because again, you can't make any big continuity changes anyway.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, and the Ostrander Mandrake Spectre was an awesome series,
Hmm.
but it was it wasn't complete. It had much more, I think, of a horror bent to it than this series, which is about redemption. But ultimately, it's not that different because they redeemed, Jim Corrigan,
Hmm.
you know, with the Spectre. So, and Ostrander's a great writer too. It's just that this sticks out as very much different than the issues before it and the issues after it. About that.
Yeah. And again, it's like you don't want to like interrupt GMD Mateus in the middle of something, and who knows if this is just like a inventory story off the shelf, so it could have been written whenever, and it's just like, well, we need it here. So you really don't want to get into like where Hal's at, but yeah, the New God thing's always weird to me, and it's just like, I don't think I've ever gotten, is Metron supposed to be a good guy or a bad guy?
Yes.
No.
I mean, he's driven only in the search for knowledge. He'll do, I mean, and I don't know a lot about the New Gods because, again, they've never really appealed to me,
Yeah,
but
neither.
he's a gray character, I think.
Yeah. But I mean, this story was kind of like depressing because it's like, oh yeah, Hell saves that girl from Apocalypse. Well, it's like Metron takes her back. Darkseid's about to execute her, and they kind of trick him into like, oh no, she's exiled to Earth, and then meanwhile, what, she tries to become an artist on Earth and can't get work, and
Yeah.
that's basically how it ends. It's just basically like a rejection letter. It's like, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She can't find work on Earth. Is that supposed to be more horrible than living on Apocalypse?
yeah, I don't think so. I mean,
I mean, unless it's because it looked like she was in New York City, but
mhm. I don't know. It was it was different. I'm not saying it was bad. I
yeah.
mean, it was still a good story, I thought, but it was not.
I mean, except for that thing in the source, real quick, it wasn't as metaphysical as like James D. Mateus does, because
Yes, exactly.
this was how basically literally physically saving someone instead of like working through the soul or
Hmm.
a higher plane.
Yeah, and so yeah, it was an interesting kind of meander, and and then we get back to kind of the normal Spectre series with the next issue.
Yes. All right. Do you want to do the next one?
Let's go. Let's do
All right.
it.
Yeah, I mean, not even just this issue, but I think that's what you were saying before. It's like, yeah, some of these issues, it's like a different tone than some of like the first year of this book.
Mhm. Yeah, because the first year and a half of this book was really, really, really strong. And these aren't bad. I just don't think they're living up to quite that what was established. The level of quality that was established in those first year and a half.
I should maybe try to get Dave Mateus back and be like, you know what? Was there any editorial pressure? Or... All right, so issue 20, My Perfect Life. Same creative team as the first one. All right, let's open this up here. Oh yes, this is the one. Yeah, because the guy, going to work thinking he has the perfect life, and
Mm-hmm. And that seems very much like like something we would have seen in the first year and a half. I mean, it's pretty good.
I mean, it kind of reminded me of the vampire one almost,
Yeah, a little bit.
because the guy just keeps seeing the Spectre, like the Spectre is haunting him, and it's just like, why is the Spectre haunting this guy? But yeah, works good. He loves his job, and then he's out to dinner with his wife, and freaks out when he sees the Spectre, and he basically goes to see a therapist, and he's asking about his childhood, and he's telling him how he has like the perfect childhood. And again, the Spectre shows up again. He runs to his parents, and then house, but then it's like all of a sudden he's like, wait a minute, his father's not like this. He's not like an angry alcoholic. What is going on?
And then his mother's dead, but then his mother's alive.
Yeah, then it's
Then he
like
has a son, and then he doesn't have a son.
yeah,
and,
he had a perfect marriage, but then it wasn't so perfect. Yeah. It's just like, what is going on here? And he's like seeing specters everywhere. He's back at this psychiatrist, but it's a therapist, but it's a different person. Is that supposed to be Hal?
I don't think so.
Because he has like the gray hair. I didn't know if that
Oh
was
yeah.
Hal. Yeah. But yeah, and he tells him, no, you died. You had a heart attack and died, and basically, when his soul crosses over, has a chance to relive the life they left behind, perfect it. So
He did, but then he wouldn't leave it. He stayed.
yeah, he's like, yeah, over and over and over again. He's like, how long has it been? And Hal was just like, well, if you measure it by the way they measure time on Earth, yeah, you've been in there 15 years.
Yeah.
But he said Hal kept showing up because he's like, I tried to nudge you gently awake, but you kept resisting me. So much to my regret, I had to enter your dream more directly and shock you out of it. So I guess it's like a whole metaphysical thing about how like it does, time acts differently.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, wait a minute, he hasn't been the Spectre for 15 years.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Unless he just came in now.
Yeah, I mean,
Either he sensed it or like, heaven told him, it's like, oh, hey, this guy's been in here for 15 years.
15, yeah, exactly.
But no, yeah, that was a good one. It did remind me of the vampire one. Which again, it's DeMatteis, but I wonder, was this like another fill-in one? Because again, it's like it didn't like progress any of the story we saw in the first one forward, like the dead body or the resurrected body, or even Helen or any of that. Yeah,
yeah, it was.
I don't mind, but it's just
yeah,
it's like once again, like the vampire one, it's like it could almost not be a Spectre story. But then, yeah, he marches this guy in the head. He takes this guy to heaven, and the guy's like, "What about you? You coming too?" And then Hal's like, "My work is on Earth. I'll find my heaven here." So, yeah. Out of all 6 of them, this might be my favorite one this week.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that.
Yeah. The other
one, I think I would put the Ostrander one probably at the bottom.
Yeah. And then the last 3 are like one big story, but it's like I don't know that. Like I said, I have questions. like how continuity works with the the upcoming Green Lantern Rebirth, which I think I know someone who's read that a lot and who may be able to.
We'll have to talk about that.
Yes. All right. So. Oh, hey, did you I was gonna say this kind of story in this issue kind of reminds me of like Quantum Leap, like someone like trying to like better people's lives, but this I guess bettering people's afterlives.
Yeah, exactly. And we
But
don't get the next episode until what?
the Monday after this one coming up, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the last one? Did you see the end of the
Yes.
last one? Oh my God,
Mhm.
did you see who one of the people was in that elevator?
No, I missed that.
Robert Picardo, the doctor from Voyager.
Oh, yes, yes, that's right. Yes. That was the preview for the next episode, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
I think it says like the explosion keeps happening, so he keeps leaping into everyone who's in there. So at some point he's gonna leap in the Robert Picardo. Oh my God! Someone just that's call that guy doctor. All right. So should we get to the next one?
You bet.
20. All right. The Spectre number 21. November 2002. Wow, the title kind of gives it away. All right, kids, spoilers. The Resurrection of Sinestro, Part 1, Stigmonus and Son. Wow, right, yeah. Still DeMatteis, Norm Brayfogle, Dennis Jank, Guy Major, letterers, Bill Oakley and Kurt Hathaway, and editors Dan Rasper and Valerie Durazio. All right, so I guess we could just jump right to it. So they told us Sinestro's back. So were you
And
kind of
he is.
shocked? Were you kind of shocked when you saw that?
Yeah, not really, no.
You're like, this isn't supposed to happen yet.
Well, and from a continuity, standpoint, Sinestro was never dead, right?
Exactly.
So,
So that was gonna be my question. So when Rebirth rolls around, doesn't Sinestro say that was like a clone or something, or some kind of weird?
or phantoms to drive him mad, I think is what he says. We tormented him. Parallax and I tormented him or something. Yeah, I think.
Because I was gonna say if it was like some kind of like clone or something, I'm like, could that be that what Stigmonus resurrects and it thinks it's Sinestro?
I don't know. I mean, he seems to be pretty effective at being, Sinestro-y.
And why was he and supposedly what was there? Did I miss something? Why was he buried on Earth? Because how killed him on Oa?
Yeah, I didn't know. Was that Oa that we were shown first, or was that near his temple?
I thought it looked like somewhere on Earth. I thought. I mean,
I don't know. And by this
and
time, Oa had been blown.
Oa had been destroyed and
Yeah. Maybe it was just there for convenience sake, I mean,
maybe. I was
yeah.
gonna say, did it when he became the Spectre and was like trying to atone? Did he like bury Sinestro or what he thought was Sinestro?
It doesn't seem very parallaxy, but whatever.
Well, maybe after he became the Spectre or something, but Oa had been destroyed by. I don't know.
Let's just not think too much about it.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, this one opens with Hal kind of watching Carol and her husband from outside the house.
Yeah, he's a creeper.
Yep, and what's her face shows up and I don't know. Do you think there's something sinister about her or no? Materna.
I think we're supposed to think that there's something sinister about her, but maybe it'll be revealed later that it's not.
Yeah,
and I don't know how this ends. So
yeah, me neither. Because I'm just like, is she supposed to be sinister or just a cosmic, just mysterious cosmic entity? Or why not both?
Yeah.
And then of course we see Stigmonus with this resurrected life form. Basically runs away and oh man, but that title page, the resurrection of Sinestro with where he's barely there.
Yeah, just parts of him. And then, we get different parts later, like the spike. Yeah.
Or again, it's like, doesn't Materna say something to Stigmonis in was it the next issue or the issue after? It's like, how are you here? You're still in that globe. It's like, did you kind of jump from like the past or the future or something? Is maybe could Stigmonis have done that, pulled Sinestro from another time or even like an alternate time?
Who knows? It's nuts.
Well, once again, Sinestro was supposed to be dead at this point. I get it, but you should have mentioned it in Rebirth.
Exactly. Well, and I feel like, and we can talk more about this during Rebirth, but I feel like John's had to really kind of focus.
Yeah.
And he didn't necessarily dismiss all of the Spectre series by J.M. DeMatteis, but I don't think he really had room to expand on it. He kind of stripped everything back to the core that he needed to tell the story that he had for Rebirth, right? And to be honest with the story that he was telling, I don't know that a lot of this would fit anyway, right? It would have just confused or muddled things potentially. But he didn't go out of his way to say, no, that never happened.
Yeah, because again, I wasn't reading this at the time, and it just seems weird because they never kind of mention what's happening in this book. Because anytime he shows up in the Green Lantern book, the Cal, it's just like, oh, hey, how's the Spectre? And it's like I had no idea what was going on in this book. I don't remember them like promoting this book at all. There's no ads, nothing. I'm just because every once in a while he'd pop up with the Green Lantern book. I'd be like, oh yeah, doesn't the Spectre have a book? I'm like, I wonder if it's still I had no idea.
Mm-hmm. Well, and there's a somewhat prophetic exchange between Sinestro and Hal in issue 23. He says, you are when they're fighting, the ring belonged to Green Lantern, but I'm not. And he goes, yes, you are. You are, you were, you always will be. Which I thought was kind of interesting.
Exactly. But then, we see Hal going through his little castle here and talking to his different aspects. And Stigmonis is still in there. And then it's like, oh, hey, here's a door I've never seen before.
Whoosh.
Like I said, it's not necessarily strange because the whole temple's manifested from my own consciousness. But yes, he falls through. And as he's falling, he basically goes from Spectre to looks like he changes back to Hal Jordan. Oh god, and then we got Stigmonis and Sinestro having dinner. And Sinestro can't remember much, but all he remembers is, he wants to kill Jordan.
Exactly.
Jordan.
Yeah. Which is,
I, of course, love Hal Jordan.
It's really interesting because there's a scene. What is it, Dark Knight's Metal or Dark Knight's Death Metal? Where there's a scene between Hal and Sinestro, and Hal says something along the lines of, how could you think, we were ever friends? And Sinestro says, but we'll always be friends. Which is really this kind of, it's a really interesting relationship that's much less, well, it's much more subtler than this just straight up hatred we have between them. And I think that's something that John's really established post Rebirth.
Yeah, I think so a lot of times it's always portrayed as just like he's like Hal Jordan's just isn't isn't totally an enemy. It's just like, oh no, that poor boy's just, you know, believes all the lies the Guardians fed him and stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, I think. And again, it's in this. I don't know if just part of Sinestro, or even just again a demon or a clone that thinks it's
Oh
Sinestro,
yeah.
because he seems like all rage here. So yeah, Stigmotus is giving him that. Oh yeah, and then Stigmotus pulls out a yellow ring.
Yeah, and it's a Green Lantern symbol ring that's yellow. Did you notice that?
Yeah, he's yeah. So because didn't he say something about oh yeah, I got this little goodie I dug out of a box of Owen Cracker Jacks.
Cracker Jacks.
But yeah, it's a yellow power. Hey man, it looks like a regular Green Lantern ring. Yeah, you're right, but it's yellow. So I wonder if this is a real ring, or if just again something Stigmonis like came up with,
Or just a symbol, that who knows.
and again, I mean, the comment was made about him like can go either being able to travel through time. So could Stigmonis have picked this up someone else? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, and all of this is happening, but is it actually happening? What level of reality is it happening on?
Yeah, because are you saying is this happening where Hal's at? Is that what you're saying?
Is it happening there? Is it happening above reality, below reality, at some metaphysical realm? I mean, it could be anywhere, anything, kind of, with the Spectre concerned.
That's true. That's true. Because Stigmotus should be like, here, I'm going to give you some little bit of power boost, and yeah, let me give you to you in a form you're familiar with. Yeah, I can buy that. But then we see Hal's basically. I don't think they ever do they call it out, but is this supposed to be Coast City? They show him
think
in a
so.
city. They show him, yeah, in a city, but I
Yeah.
don't think they ever like come out and name check it. But
I don't know. I feel like this particular story, the resurrection of Sinestro, fits more toward the beginning of the Spectre series, kind of in tone and
yeah,
the stuff that happens versus where it is now, because a lot, we had such great stories in those early year and a half, and this is
like it almost seems like he's having doubts, like Hal's having doubts or something.
yeah.
This should have been in the beginning. Yeah,
I think I feel like it should have been more in the beginning.
I guess we were saving Sinestro for year 2. But yeah, no, Hal's in the city, and he sees Green Lantern, so he's not Green Lantern because I think, they said it's Guy here. So interesting, in his fantasy, he makes Green Lantern Guy. It's Guy and not John.
Hmm. Well, he was the
Well, yeah.
first choice.
Oh yeah, and then he's married to Carol, I guess, and they have children, and every Friday night they have his family over. Oh, then he sees Helen, and he's like kind of shocked, like Helen. It's like she's like what? Oh, but then who's that outside? Green Arrow and Martian Manhunter. So something's going on here. But then Stigmonis is still talking to Sinestro, shows him his supposed death. Because once again, if that was all a setup, I mean, that shouldn't really anger. I mean, that shouldn't anger Sinestro, and Stigmonis shouldn't have fallen for that as a cosmic entity that he is.
Yeah.
Again, I'm the head cannoning it. He's revving this clone up. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and then he leads them to Hal Jordan's little temple. Oh, Sinestro blasts Materna. Again, I mean, how cosmic is Materna? Would a regular power ring like knock her down? I'm like, so maybe this is something more than a yellow power
Yeah.
ring. But yeah, then he's like threatening Helen, basically like no whimpering or I'll kill you without a second thought. That's not a threat, that's a promise. But then the Spectre intervenes, and it's a female Spectre.
Yeah, anti-Spectre or
Anti.
anti-Hal.
All right. So, should we jump to the next one?
You bet. Let's do it.
All right. Spectre 22, December 2002, The Resurrection of Sinestro, Part 2, La Femme Spectre. And I believe that's the same team. All right. Let me open up that one. All right. So, yeah, we see Hal again waking up in bed. And then we get Stigmonus all about this is a dream, but then what is it? It's all a dream. But then it's when Hal's in the other room. Yeah, Green Arrow and Martian Manhunter are there.
Yep.
And then we see that female aspect of the Spectre going at it with Sinestro.
And losing badly.
I love how the Spectre's like, you have no idea what I'm capable of now, and Sinestro's like, you're Jordan. I don't want a reflection. I want Jordan. I want the Green Lantern of Earth. I love how the Spectre's like, Green Lantern's dead, get over it, and throws him like the Earth. Or wherever the Spectre threw him. But yeah, that's when Anti-Spectre checks on Helen, and Materna's alright. And then, yeah, the Spectre figures out it's Stigmonus. And then Martian Manhunter and Green Lantern, or Green Arrow are interrogating Hal, and Martian Manhunter reads his mind. It's like, there's nothing there.
It's just nothing. Yeah.
He knows less than we do. Because I guess they keep having the same dream, and it's just like, what? It's not Guy Gardner's Green Lantern, it's Hal Jordan. He tells them to leave, and they kind of disappear. And then Stigmonus is still messing with Sinestro. Oh, decapitates him.
Yes, and then puts him on a stick.
You are the miracle now, Sinestro. You are the power ring. You are the battery, but only if you will it. Is that like be the ball? But then we see, all the aspects of the Spectre are kind of like, I guess, dying, because without Spectre Prime, aka Hal Jordan, there's like nothing to hold them together. Because even Stigmonus says, "Oh, you're not looking yourself."
Yeah.
Don't try to understand me or fathom the depths of my heart. I'm a mystery, milady, even to myself. Because the Spectre's like, you can't let Sinestro loose on the universe. And then back to Hal's little reality. Yeah. So I guess Tom is the big pilot for
Pilot.
now.
Yep.
Yeah. I love Hal. There's like no one I'd want in that cockpit. Else I'd run in that cockpit. Well, expect myself. Oh, but then Hal has to go. He has a meeting with Wayne Enterprise.
Yeah, that Bruce Wayne is,
is cunning and relentless, she says.
Batman, my favorite character.
But then he sees Green Arrow, who pins him to the wall with some arrows. Who basically, before didn't he didn't have the goatee, now he has the goatee. Every night I go to sleep and you're there, and the weird thing is we're friends, partners, and the world we're living in, it's 1,000 times more real than this one. But then, Green Arrow kind of gets killed by Sinestro.
Yeah, and so does a certain other, two other Justice Leaguers.
Yeah. But Sinestro's just going on about how murdered him, and how's like, I don't remember that. I don't know what you're talking about. And Sinestro's like, you remembered Green Arrow for 2 seconds. He's like, you remember me. But then we see Stigmonus at the end standing there with the Spectre. Looking like not the Hal Jordan Spectre, but looking like the Jim Corrigan Spectre.
Exactly.
Interesting. All right, so should we get to the last part so we can talk this out as a whole?
Let's do it.
There we go. The Spectre number 23, January 2003. Life is but a dream. Same team. All right. And let's see. What is with this cover? This cover was very misleading, I feel.
Well, yeah, the covers have been just
not bad, but it says
not really having anything to do with the interior art. I mean, they're nice, but they're just.
I mean, 23 is like a guy sitting there trying to eat a diamond or something. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
It almost looks like you would think, it's just looking at that cover, it's like, oh, the Spectre's going to deal with some guy who's like full of greed or something. And but yeah, then we see we're back to Stigmonus and Hal, or the Spectre talking, and then we see Hal emerge from the rubble as Green Lantern. Still confused.
Gets a nice chunk of yellow knife through his chest too.
Oh yeah, because Sinestro's like, no, he's like, we're gonna start where we left off on Oa. I mean, this time things are ending a little differently, but then Hal hits him back. That's the spirit. Punch and hit, kick and claw. It's the only way to live, Sinestro tells him. Let me make this perfectly clear. You're the man who murdered me. And Hal's still like, there's some mistake. This costume, I'm not Green Lantern. Yes, you are. You are. Like you said, you are, you were, you always will be. And no world you create, no place you hide, no memories will will ever change that. But I can't destroy you if you don't remember everything, as he's like choking Hal up. Abin Sur the core, my murder, and your own wretched death. My death, your death. He throws him to the ground. But yeah, Materna, back at the temple, sees that, it looks like Stigmonus is still in his bubble, but yeah, she sees another Stigmonus, and it's you in the bubble. Oh yeah, what is it? You're something about dance. You time danced, yeah, from a distant past or far future.
Well, and they know each other, so she's of the same.
Yeah.
Whatever that Stigmonus is.
So yeah, well, the Q Continuum's having their little talk here. So does he kill Materna? No, wait. It almost looks like he kills Materna.
I think he knocks her out.
Oh, yeah, we do hear a crack, but I don't know if it... Because I was going to say, did we see her at the end? I don't... Or after that? I'm sure it's going to be one of those things, even if he, like, killed her form, she's going to be back somehow. Mm. So yeah, Sinestro's still like telling how is like I killed you, but here you are, clutching your hand of your lady love, confused, yes, alive in a way. But yeah, he kind of knocks Carol away, but then she gets caught by Wonder Woman. The Justice League's arrive.
Yep.
Mm. And they're, where's Green Arrow? The Martian Manhunter picked up his presents, and then it vanished, and Hal's like, Sinestro murdered him. But then, after having his neck snapped, Green Arrow gets up, and it's like, it appears I didn't stay dead. And Batman. A little while ago, we were flying here. Gardner disappeared 1 second. He was right there. Besides that, the next, it was as if he was simply erased. Even now, I'm finding it difficult to remember what he looked like, what he sounded like. Should have been like, what his chin felt like.
Yeah. On my knuckles.
Although I'm assuming in this reality, it was Guy. If Guy had the ring from the beginning, he didn't get hit in the head with the bus or
Yeah, or any of those things. Yeah.
But yeah, then Sinestro kind of locks up Superman and blows him up.
Yeah, that's poor Soups. Also, poor our friend, Batman.
I was gonna say he does the impossible. He does the impossible. He kills Batman.
Batman, my favorite character.
And I see chunks. Well, he must kill the whole Justice League. I see chunks of like Wonder Woman and Flash's costume too. So
Yeah.
But then the Spectre steps in and telling Sinestro his incursion's going far enough. Sinestro's like, you know it all, don't you? He dreamed you into this world. It's kind of a failsafe device.
Yeah, the different Spectre. It gets really kind of.
Well, I think it's more Spirit of Vengeance than
Yeah.
Redemption because Hal's not in there. It's like pure Spectre because he goes, my creator called me the Spirit of Vengeance and basically like eats Sinestro.
Yeah, and then chops him into pieces, and yeah. Spectre's like, what else you got?
Yeah. There's something you don't understand. I'm not going to let anyone or anything, not even the great and powerful Spectre, get between me and my goal. On a projection of his mind, not an aspect of his power, but the real thing. And Spectre's like, there's something you don't understand. I am Hal Jordan. I am his will and imagination. I am the force that manifested this place from desires he hid even from himself. I am the creator, the preserver, and the destroyer. So he chops up Sinestro, but Sinestro puts himself back together. And Sinestro says he'll keep coming back. Here we go. Here's a no true words, Sinestro. But I am cosmic spite.
Yeah.
After I'm done with Jordan, I intend to stick around the universes for a very long time, inflicting pain on all creation. See, that's what I'm saying. Now he's saying he's just gonna like terrorize everything in creation for the sheer thrill of it. I'm like, that's not Sinestro.
Sinestro's about order. I mean, that's what he's always been about.
And if nothing else, this is a little too emotional to be Sinestro.
Yeah, I mean, and who says it is? Maybe it's just this is all within the Spectre, different aspects. Blah. I mean,
and again, I know it's like upcoming retcon, but isn't the Parallax still in there too?
Theoretically, yes.
Yeah.
So maybe this is Parallax, Jack. And actually that makes that we did torment him, with visions. That this could be John's bringing this into continuity, this part of the Spectre series into continuity, but by making it
just
mental stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's Parallax trying to get him to give in to anger because we know anger leads to hate leads to the dark side.
Wait, fear. It's a giant yellow fear bug, Phil.
They're all in there. Yes, but I'm just saying, at the end of the day, he wants to push. It wants to push Hal Jordan to anger
Oh, yeah.
and fear, and
Mhm.
yes, so he gives in. But yeah, no, Hal basically what merges with the Spectre, and it's basically I can't allow this to go on. And then pure Spectre's like, no, let me handle this. And Hal, to sleep, back to my dream. I wish I could. I wish I could stay there forever, happy and free, but I can't. I made a vow to God and myself. I'm not Hal Jordan anymore. I don't deserve to be, not till I redeem myself. Yeah, Sinestro's laughing. He's like, what's something you find amusing? To hear the man who murdered me, decimated the core, left the corpses of the guardians of the universe strewn across Oa, talk about compassion? But Hal says, yeah, unlike you, have learned from my ordeal. From my guilt and sorrow and shame, I've changed.
See, it's interesting because, is this a retcon? Is this not a retcon? How we see Hal kill two people,
Yeah.
right? One of them wasn't real. One of them was, some kind of Sinestro fake thing, whatever,
Mhm.
We do see him kill Kilowog, right? So but I don't think we saw him kill any of the other Green Lanterns.
Did he kill the guardians though? Even if it was just absorbing the power killed them?
Did he? I don't know, because
I mean, there were bodies, and supposedly Ganthet was the only one until we got baby guardians last week.
exactly. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like during this era, pre-rebirth, everybody assumes he killed all the GLs that he fought in space. When Sinestro said decimated the core had 20 members at this point, right? If that many.
Something like that, yeah.
12, 13, something like that. And we saw Kilowog, we saw Kilowog get blasted, and then we saw him break Sinestro's neck. So
again, I think everyone always assumed he stole all the power. So all the ones that were like, he left a bunch, some of them floating in space. It's like, oh yeah, their rings cut out in the middle of space.
Yeah, but there weren't any other. I mean, there were just the 12 that he had recruited, and those were sent to stop him.
Yep.
And he took their rings. Now, did he kill them when he took their rings? Post rebirth, the answer is no. Pre rebirth, I feel like everybody says he just killed everybody. He's a mass murderer at this point. So I mean, it's interesting.
Yes. And I would go on record. I think this might be controversial, but I think he did us a public service by smacking Jack T. Chance around.
I'm not necessarily going to disagree with that.
But yeah, so basically all the Spectre aspects come back because Hal's back. They're all
full power.
Yep. And pretty much, I mean, it appears literally Sinestro gets dragged back to hell.
He chooses it.
Yes.
Let's see, not to get all literary here. Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven.
Exactly. And again, is that Parallax and
messing with
Sinestro through Parallax messing with Hal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, because ultimately, it's Hal fails to redeem him. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it kind of fits with Parallax messing with him. Hey, look, you couldn't do this one. It's a hit.
And again, maybe that's why they don't reprint this thing, because just continuity. Because it's like Hal's basically rocking power from God right now. Shouldn't he see through? It's like, oh yeah, that's not really Sinestro.
Or shouldn't he see that? Hey, I'm infected with a cosmic fear bug.
You think they wanted the job? God would be like, yeah, let me get this out of here.
I feel like
that's the problem when you introduce like God into like something like this. Like
becomes a character, and then you have to have motivations, right? So
No, but then it's like if something goes wrong, it's like, well, why didn't God stop that? Why didn't
yeah,
why didn't it stop Parallax?
Johns makes the Spectre merged with Hal to rip Parallax from his, had
Yeah.
grafted onto his soul basically. So maybe, Parallax just hid that information from Hal's consciousness. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's what happened post Rebirth because, all of this stuff was kind of in some ways retconned.
Yeah. I mean, do you think would it have been worse or better if they had been like in Rebirth and been like, yeah, no, you were never like, the hand of God or whatever. You were that was just Parallax messing with you the whole time.
I don't know. I kind of liked. We got some really good stories from
Oh
this
yeah.
series, and I think it was handled really well in Rebirth.
Hmm.
Because one, rocking the power of the Spectre, we get Coast City back.
Yes.
Not the people of Coast City, but we get the
Actual
city
city. Yeah.
back. Yeah. Um, and the point, the point, I think what Johns did that was really smart was, hey, the point of this series obviously is to bring back Hal Jordan, but the plot point is not to bring back Hal Jordan. The plot point is, oh, there's a yellow fear bug called Parallax that's gonna eat everything, right? Be afraid.
Well, that's a plot device too. So it's not like, oh yeah, Hal was just weak and killed a bunch of his
Yeah,
fellow core members.
yeah,
He was possessed.
yeah. Of course, yes,
Yeah.
because you can't have blood on his hands, right? I get that. But then making the oh hey, we've got to stop the fear bug. Hey, if we well hey, if we bring if this happens, we get Hal back as part of this story. And say what you want, it set up a decade's worth of you know pretty much mythos defining Green Lantern stories.
Oh yeah. I mean, the emotional spectrum.
Yep. And what did it cost us? Well, I mean, and I look at it like this: Kyle getting the ring cost us the core, the mythos, everything that I read Green Lantern for,
Mm.
right? And granted, we got some really good, solid stories from Ron Mars and Daryl Banks. Nearly 7 years worth, right?
Hmm.
But once Mars left the book, I think there was probably a push. I don't know if it was from fans or from editorial or from, ghosts, who knows, to start bringing back a lot of that stuff that we had lost, because of Emerald Twilight, the core, the
Hmm.
Guardians, the Central Power Battery, more than one ring, and I think that's really, now, that's not to say that if Winnick's run would have sold gangbusters, it wouldn't have continued that way. But I think you and I've, we've mentioned it on this many times before that
Yeah.
Winnick's run is, because we're still talking about it hasn't kind of lived up to, you know, what we hoped it would be.
Oh yeah. No. It just. Yeah.
You know,
Again, was that just a sign in last week in 150? It's like, oh yeah, we got to give him a new costume. We got to throw in some something flashy.
yeah, I don't know. I think it was maybe editorial realizing that, the success of Kyle was really the success of, Mars and Banks.
Yeah.
And if it weren't for them, doing such a, great job for so many years, that, all that other stuff may have come back sooner. Who knows? You
Yeah.
know?
And I wonder, I mean, we'll get into it the next, a bunch of episodes, but it's just like, I wonder if, like, when they start taking Cal into space, was that, like, was there a push for that? Where it's like, yeah, seals are down. We kind of got to get back to, like, some of the roots of Green Lantern, like some of the more,
Cosmic.
yeah,
Yeah. I don't know. And I haven't read those issues coming up, so I'm curious to see how it's going to, play out, because we've only got another 11, 12 issues of Winnick.
yeah, something like that. Yeah. Because what
Mhm.
is it, 162 or something? This is his
Yep.
last one. Yeah.
And then, that leaves 19 issues after that, 6 of which are the final issues by Ron Mars.
Oh, yes, I know. Friend of the show. We might have.
This is Comics Illustrator.
Oh, wait, hold on. Wrong one. All right, there we go.
This is Ron Mars. You are listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
We have so many friends, kids. I accidentally hit Ron Friends instead of Ron Mars, and I just now realized I have 2 Rons next to each other. So
Cool. But yeah, this story, I don't know, it feels a little bit out of place to me in this run of the Spectre. It does. Some of those early stories were, I mean, they're profound. They're really beautiful and moving. This seems,
I mean, once it seems like a lot of character developments, like we've gone backwards. Now he's like, "Woe is me," and yeah.
So, I mean, it's definitely not bad. It's still good. It's a really well written, but it doesn't have some of the, pardon the pun, the magic of, some of those first year, year and a half of the series, at least in my mind.
Yeah, I'm curious how he's going to wrap this up, because there's only 4 issues left.
4 issues left, yeah. And are we doing those next week or?
No. That's I think the next 2 weeks we got Cal Rayner. The issue, we're back to Cal Rayner. Let's see. Yeah, next week 151 and 152. In 2 weeks 153 through 155. Yeah, and then in 3 weeks we'll do the last 4. So.
Okay, cool. Very cool.
All right. So should we get out of here?
I think so.
All right, kids. So yes, like I said, next week we'll be back with Cal Rayner, Green Lantern 151 and 152. So email your thoughts, or hey, email us Spectre thoughts. CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find Sector 2814 on Facebook, on Twitter. Find Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks on Instagram. Find Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network on Hive. Our YouTube channel, once again, good job on getting us to 269 subscribers. We're already past that on YouTube. So, Wolf Hellfire now demands our next goal is 369. So, yes, please smash that subscribe button so you don't miss a second of any of it, because, like I said, Wolf demands it.
Smash it.
The Patreon, once again, this is our passion project. We're paying for this all ourselves. So every little bit helps, but $3 to $5 gets you early access to creator interviews, including the monthly Chichester Chats.
I got the good mic out for you guys.
All the previous episodes are up there. There's damn superhero movie brackets. There's old Star Trek episodes, other movie reviews. Lilith Hellfire I just today recorded this, that, or the third, where we just asked each other questions. So quite intriguing. Almost 2 hours. So yes.
Oh wow.
Yes. So you guys are in for a treat. All our patrons, join the Patreon elite. And of course, pick yourself up some Capes and Lunatics and Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks merch. Find it all at Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. And Ray, I'm pretty, Will and we may be able to drag Matt Kona back in for at least one episode of the Quantum Zone on Patreon this year. So
that'll be fun.
So you better send in your feedback like you used to, Ray.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Will Allred, master of the core, master of the quantum zone, master of Kickstarter and podcasting, everything else. Where can people talk to you?
You can find me at Walred. That's at WALLRED on Twitter or Gmail and Facebook and probably Instagram and I don't know, lots of other places too. You can also find my self-published work via Kickstarter, Crossover Division at crossoverdivision.com. The 4th issue is at the printer now, and hopefully will be finished printing within a couple of weeks. Keeping my fingers crossed. You can also check out Diary of Night at diaryofnight.com. And Phil is not the only podcaster that I annoy on a weekly basis. Kevin Joseph and I get together and host a show called Explain Yourself, where we bring on comic crowdfunding creators who have live projects and do our best to promote their project. It's a lot of fun. And finally, you obviously have great taste because you're listening to this show, which means you probably love Quasar as well. And who doesn't? So if you'd like to find out more about Quasar, you can check out the Quantum Zone at quantumzone.org.
Hey, boys, you look at the party? I love the party.
I hope it's going somewhere nice.
They aren't even attempting to enter our offices.
The Marvel comic.
Marvel comic.
God.
Who does the Spectre work for?
I am God.
He works for me.
Yes.
Seems like I'm getting a package every other day.
All right, kitties. Thank you for joining us again. We're back with more Judd Winnick, Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern next week, the next 2 weeks, and then we'll close out this Spectre run.
And then it's just pretty much a sprint to the end, except for
There's a few little things like after the Spectre week. There's the JLA Spectre Soul War,
Cosmic Odyssey.
Yeah, the 1 week we're doing Cosmic Odyssey with the Green Lantern issues. And then we're doing that JLA Avengers crossover at the end of March. So
that's right. Yeah.
Besides that, there's not too much more besides the Green Lantern issues. So yes, Rebirth is coming, kids. All right, join us next week, and remember,
What?
don't give in to fake rivalries. Good night.